honor.
Okay, welcome to ASEAN in Focus Weekend Edition. I am Dr. Kaloy Tabunda from the New Era University ASEAN Studies Center and Center for International Linkages. One of the pillars of the ASEAN integration is the promotion of socio-cultural links among the 10 ASEAN member states, and under this is the promotion of academic collaboration among the universities within the ASEAN region. This afternoon, we are very lucky to have with us an academic coming from one of our 10 ASEAN member states, but who is actually a Canadian citizen who is working in a university in Thailand. Okay, our guest here is Dr. Bradley A. Corbett from Ontario, Canada. Dr. Corbett is currently the director of the Research Center of the Faculty of Business Administration of the Raja Mangala University of Technology in Thanyaburi, or RMUTT, based in Thailand. He is also formally connected as director of the Research and Development of the Stamford International University, also in Bangkok, Thailand. He finished his education. He took his Doctor of Philosophy and Education Studies from the University of New Brunswick, Faculty of Education in Fredericton, also in Canada, and his Master of Education with major in Organizational and Administrative Studies. He finished his college Bachelor of Arts in Health Studies, also from the Brock University in St. Catharines, Ontario. Okay, welcome to the show, Dr. Bradley Corbett.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so you're a Canadian citizen working in Bangkok.
Yes.
Okay, so how come you're in Bangkok right now? What made you decide to work in Bangkok?
Well, being from Canada, I'm somebody that enjoys a warmer climate.
Okay,
and
Canada is cold.
And Canada is cold for most of the year, at least 6 months. And so I started thinking about my retirement in long term, 15, 20 years from now. And I thought if I wait until retirement and then move to where I want to live, then it's probably too late. I won't be able to integrate into society and develop networks. So I decided to leave my home in Canada and come and move to Bangkok and enjoy the Southeast Asian culture.
Why Bangkok, of all places?
Well, it's really remarkable how this story happened. I was talking with a friend of mine in Toronto over a long weekend, and I was talking about a plan. I was going to take a year off from work and maybe go to South America and learn how to Latin dance, eat some delicious food from the culture. And so he said, you know, I have a friend who goes to Bangkok for 6 months, and he's been going there for 15 years. Would you like to meet him?
Okay.
So I'd never been to Asia before. I've never considered this region of the world. And so I agreed to meet the friend, and he really loved Thailand. And so he asked me if I would be interested in going there, and I said sure.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. I didn't have any specific plan, but it just happened.
Okay, so so far, how do you find yourself living and working in Thailand?
It's a fantastic culture. It has a lot to offer. It's you know, of course, everybody associates Thailand with the street food.
Yeah.
Yes,
chili.
As you can tell, I enjoy a good food.
Thai food is one of the best in the world, they say.
Absolutely. Okay. And so, so you know, the food is fantastic. And I didn't know about the people until later, but the people of Thailand are very warm, very compassionate, very friendly people, very giving. So it feels very comfortable as a foreigner to live in Thailand.
In general, how do you describe your experience living in Thailand? You find, how long have you been there in Thailand?
I've been in Thailand for 3 years now.
And you really feel right at home now?
Yeah, I've often described it as heaven on earth.
Okay.
You know, so
You've been here in the Philippines how many times already?
This is my 3rd visit to the Philippines.
Okay, but short visits only?
Yeah, short visits. I'm waiting for, you know, opportunities to spend more time here.
Okay, maybe you can find another heaven here later.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, how's the Thailand economy these days? For example, particularly, you have a new king. I mean, how is it now?
Yes, I think people are adjusting well. The former king was loved so much by people, and most of the people...
He was revered, actually.
Yes,
The term is
yes,
revered.
yes, absolutely. And most of the people have only known him as the king, and so the transition was sad, and now the new king has taken over, and things are returned back to normal.
So politically, it's quiet now.
Yeah, politically it's very comfortable. Of course, every country has the political issues and things that are happening, but I think everybody's quite comfortable in the current situation.
Because for an ASEAN like me, who we always look at what's happening in Thailand, because what happens there really affects much of the region, particularly the mainland ASEAN.
Yes.
So you think it's okay now?
Yes, I think people are focused. I think people are really adjusting to a middle class lifestyle. A lot of people have been elevated into middle class. You see lots of people driving big pickup trucks and on roads that were meant for motorcycles.
So you've experienced Manila traffic for the last how many days? How do you compare Manila traffic to Bangkok traffic?
Well, there was a big typhoon that limited the traffic, I think.
Okay, so you're right here during the typhoon season, so there's no classes.
Yes. Yeah, I think I would say it's similar.
Okay.
In my previous visit, yes, different regions of Manila, definitely it's a parking lot. But we have
the main roads are parking lots. So
yes.
You also have that in Bangkok.
We have that in other regions of Bangkok as well.
Yeah.
So it's very familiar, and it's very makes me appreciate the SkyTrain and the BTS of Thailand very much.
In your first visit to Bangkok, you didn't experience, culture shock. Sometimes foreigners have that.
Yes, the language was really a culture shock for me.
Yes.
I expected that I would be in a country that wasn't English speaking, but I'd visited many European countries before, and I was always comfortable speaking English. But when I came to Thailand, the area where I first was living, many people couldn't even communicate enough to help me get a cell phone. So it was, but to be fair, it was a very Thai part of Bangkok as well.
Yes.
So there are pockets of places where people
don't really speak any English.
Are not comfortable with English very well.
How do you compare this with your experience here in Manila, for instance, where many people can speak English?
Yes, I think there's no, obviously English is very prominent here, and although it's not perfect communication, it's very, very effective. And very strange now that I've been out of an English culture for 3 years to be able to speak to people and have them understand what I'm saying.
But so far you seem to have adjusted very well in your life in Bangkok.
Yes, I'm very lucky. I have, the support of a lot of people. The Thai people have been so friendly and helpful, and the people that do speak good English, they're very willing to help me and always supporting me in getting things finished. Okay,
when we come back, we will talk about the school you're representing, the Rajamangala University of Technology. We will talk about that when ASEAN in Focus returns.
The machine. Broadcasting Corporation not only provides news and entertainment, but also fulfills its social responsibility through clean-up drives, blood donations, medical mission, a livelihood seminar. Eagle Broadcasting Corporation into its 50th year. Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Pet News, Linggo, alas 4 hanggang alas 5 ng hapon.
Welcome back to ASEAN in Focus Weekend Edition, and we're continuing with our interview with Dr. Bradley Corbett from the Raja Mangala University of Technology in Thanyaburi, Thailand. Okay, Dr. Bradley, you can just call you Dr. Bradley.
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell us something about your university, Raja Mangala University of Technology? Okay.
Yes, the first thing that really stands out is the name.
Okay.
It's very challenging.
It sounds Indian, right? But it's in Thailand.
Yes. So the king bestowed the name on the university.
Okay.
It used to be a collection of small colleges, and
Okay.
it was brought together into a series of campuses.
So this was established by the king himself.
Yes.
So this is under. So this is a royal university. You can call that a royal
Yes,
university.
and the princess
Okay.
will come and give
Okay.
the diplomas
Okay.
at the end of the year. So connected with the royal family.
Okay. So how big is this, and where is this located in Bangkok?
We have about 30,000 students on our
Wow.
campus. And in fact, the university is part of a collection of universities, 9 universities around the country. So when we have convocation, all of the students from all of the campuses come, and so we have about 200,000 students in the group.
In that 9 universities.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's 2 weeks when the university is completely closed for convocation during the year, and it's just a sea of people. Yes.
So what are they? Where are you strong in? I mean, the courses offered.
Our campus has a very strong engineering faculty.
Engineering. Okay.
It's the biggest faculty, and it offers a full complement of programs from bachelor's to PhD level.
Oh, you have PhDs in engineering.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay.
And also the business faculty. We have a very interesting international business program that's delivered in English, and also the Faculty of Science and Technology.
So if I'm a Filipino student wanting to study anywhere in ASEAN, so how would you promote our MUTT to convince me to enroll in your university?
Yes, thank you for the question. It's really a great place for somebody to live and to study there. It's a little bit removed from Bangkok, so there's probably not the distractions, full distractions
so it's
of the city.
outside of the city proper?
Yes, it's about 25 kilometers outside of the city proper, the core of the city. And so it's...
But it's still Bangkok?
Yes, it's actually in a different province called Pathumthani.
Thanyaburi.
Yes, Thanyaburi is the city, and yeah, so it's kind of a suburb of Bangkok. I would describe it in this way, and so it's a bit removed from the city, but it's still accessible.
Okay, do you have partnerships with other ASEAN universities already?
Yes, we have many partnerships around the region. We have partnership with Cambodia, in Cambodia, and also there's partnerships in Vietnam, and also basically all of the ASEAN nations we have connections with.
What about Philippines? You
Definitely, we have some partnerships with Batangas University.
Batangas
State University, and also we're talking with New Era University to develop some relationships. Yes.
What are the forms of academic collaboration between RMUTT and the other? For example, what kind of partnership are you contemplating with New Era University, for instance?
Well, what we're doing is we're trying to focus on Industry 4.0 types of things. It's very important to prepare students for the future and for students to be able to work and live in the Internet of Things society. It's interesting, even in developed countries where English is the first language, the companies have a hard time finding qualified employees, yet people have a hard time finding work, and it's because of the skills gap. So in Canada, we developed a program called the Success Readiness Test.
Okay,
and
so you're bringing that here in
yes, so we're bringing the Success Readiness Test, SRT, to ASEAN nations, and we're in the Philippines this week discussing SRT and how RMUTT and Filipino universities can collaborate together.
Actually, we will discuss SRT later in details later in the later part of the program. What I'm asking right now is specifically what are the programs you have established with other ASEAN universities apart from this SRT thing? You have faculty exchanges programs.
We have faculty exchange programs where different faculty members will come back and forth to each country and experience their teaching in another country. Also, we have student exchange programs. RMUTT is offering some scholarships, and we'll have some scholarships coming up for people from the Philippines if they're interested in coming to Thailand.
Okay, listen, Filipino students who want to study in Thailand, the Raja Mangala University of Technology is offering scholarships. So this will be covered by with your. You told me earlier that you're contemplating on a collaboration with New Era University. So even students of New Era University will be qualified to have scholarship programs.
Yes, we feel it's very important to have a collaboration. So in the ASEAN region between the Philippines and Thailand, it's very important for the students to meet each other at that stage. Engineers, for example, can meet each other, share ideas, and then as they develop their careers, then they can have those connections when they're older and in their career.
Okay, one of the issues confronting ASEAN is the issue of language. Of course, if you get students from the Philippines, you expect them to speak English, of course, not Thai. So how is this being addressed by your university, the language thing?
Well, the language is a very big challenge, but it's being recognized now. I think previously, Thailand's such a strong culture and so rich that the people have not felt a need to reach out. They haven't. A lot of the students, even now, they don't feel a need to acquire English.
Yes.
Yeah, if you speak Thai and you have skills, you can live in Bangkok and only speak Thai and live a great life.
Yeah, but we're now a bigger international community. We have ASEAN, and whether we like it or not, the message, the medium of communication within ASEAN is English. So everybody has to really learn English. So
so the students and more importantly, the government and the university administrations are learning the importance of English and trying to find ways to promote English. So these kind of collaborations between New Era and RMUTT are very important to Thailand.
Which means we can have teachers from New Era University teach English in Thailand, or courses which are delivered in English.
Yes, exactly.
So that's possible.
And even, with technology, we can even share lectures, speaking engagements without having to travel a lot. We can, of course, travel and personal connections are important as well to meet in person, but we have a great ability, and I think this is where the Philippines can really contribute to the development of Thailand and going forward.
So we're looking at a more active collaboration between Philippine universities and, of course, your university.
Yes, the recent survey of English capability placed Thailand at about 53.
Number 53.
53
worldwide.
out of 80 Asian
okay.
countries, and the Philippines is around 15.
Yeah,
so
we have slid down.
But even so, you're still very significant.
Okay.
English skills, and you know, as we said, it's comfortable for an English speaker to communicate here. So that's really somewhere, if can make the friendships and communications between faculty and students, then that's really going to benefit Thailand a lot.
Okay. You mentioned earlier about Industry 4.0. We will discuss more about that when ASEAN in Focus Weekend Edition returns.
Fantastic.
Welcome to the garden. A world that recaptures the value of life, creating your moments, kindling your passion, worth reliving over and over. This is your world, your life, your garden.
Makalipas ang 2 taong panunungkulan bilang Pangulo, nakamit na nga ba ng bansa ang pangakong pagbabago ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte? SONA 2018, ang ikatlong State of the Nation Address ni Pangulong Duterte. Digmaan kontra droga, pagpatay sa ilang opisyal ng pamahalaan, pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Ito nga ba ang pagbabagong ipinangako ng Duterte Presidency? Paglikha ng Bangsamoro Region, pagbabago ng gobyerno tungo sa federalismo, at pagtatayo ng mga infrastruktura sa ilalim ng Build, Build, Build Project. Gaano nga ba katagal pa ang hintayin ng mga Pilipino upang pakinabangan ng benepisyo ng mga ipinangakong pagbabago? Sama-sama nating subaybayan ang gagawing paglalahad ng Pangulo ng Bansa sa mga inaasahang pagbabagong magaganap sa mga susunod pang taon. Isang special coverage ng Eagle Broadcasting Corporation. Subaybayan sa July 23 sa Net 25, Radyo Aguila, Pinas FM, eaglenews.ph at eaglenewslive.com. SONA 2018.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Welcome back to ASEAN in Focus Weekend Edition. We continue with our interview with Dr. Bradley Corbett from the Raja Mangala University of Technology in Thanyaburi, Thailand. Okay, earlier you mentioned about Industry 4.0 and possible collaboration among ASEAN universities in this regard. Can you expound what is Industry 4.0 about?
Yes, so Industry 4.0 in Thailand, we call it Thai 4.0.
Okay.
So the idea is moving towards the Internet of Things.
Internet of Things, okay.
Yes, and what that means is everything will be connected through the Internet. So, for example, when we travel, the cell phone is connected to the public transit systems and to maybe traffic lights. We have GPS that is sending signals to the satellite to tell us about traffic patterns. So in Industry 4.0, industry and factories will be connected to the Internet. There will be more automation and artificial intelligence being applied to to industry.
Okay. How is Thailand doing so far in terms of Industry 4.0? How do you describe its readiness or state of Industry 4.0?
Yes, I think the important step is the government has put a lot of focus on Thai 4.0, and so there's a significant recognition at the government level and in the universities about the importance of this future of work,
Okay.
and the way that we'll be living in the future.
Okay. You told us earlier that you're reaching out to universities in ASEAN regarding this Industry 4.0 thing. So how do you see the collaboration going to be?
Well, one of the important aspects, especially as far as Thailand is concerned, is the communication between
Okay.
people. So internationally and globally, we know that there are a set of skills that are necessary for people to work and live in this economy. So our university is preparing students to be able to live and work
Okay.
in both in English and in the Industry 4.0.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So what common projects do you see is feasible to implement this in this Thai 4.0 thing? Common projects among ASEAN universities. For example, you're from RMUTT and you're reaching out to the Philippines. What particular project do you have in mind to promote this thing?
Yes, so Industry 4.0 is a global phenomenon, and so even in Canada we have a need to develop the skills.
Okay.
So the work that we've been doing in Canada, I've been bringing to RMUTT in Thailand
Okay.
in the form of a product called the Success Readiness Test.
Success readiness test.
Yes,
Okay.
and we're now offering a Success Readiness Test in Thailand and
Okay.
Vietnam, and
So
now we're coming to
Can you show that
to
here?
work in the
Can you
Philippines.
focus that here? Success readiness. The success readiness test. Improve yourself, prepare for success. This one is from Vietnam.
Yes, so we're working in Thailand, and we have partners in Vietnam, and now we're talking
Hopefully
to partners in
okay.
potential partners in the
Philippines.
Philippines
So
this week.
can you tell us about this success readiness test?
Yes, so the Success Readiness Test is online assessment and learning plan.
Okay.
So we can test students' abilities to participate in the future workforce in
Okay.
reading, writing, listening,
When you say
speaking.
student, from what level? Senior high school or?
Well, essentially, every person that's going to enter the workforce is
okay.
going to need to be qualified in Industry 4.0 skills. So it's important for people to have good reading skills, listening skills, writing skills, and then we also do things more than the traditional
Okay.
testing, such as document use,
Document use.
numeracy, and different things where people will have to be in a workplace, they have to read a memo, they have to understand that, and we
Okay.
can test for
So
their...
this is a test to measure all of those. How many? Nine
Yes.
areas.
There's, we test for 6, and there are 9 skills,
Okay.
but things like computer use is incorporated because they learn how to do the studying online and communication.
So you're giving this test to different students from right now. You do it. You have it in Canada. You're doing it in Thailand and Vietnam and hopefully in the Philippines.
Yes, so we're bringing the ASEAN nations together
Okay.
through SRT, and we're hoping that SRT will provide a platform by which we can do evaluation.
Okay.
We can understand by using the same measurement
Okay.
what people's skill levels are. And not only that, but we try to identify people's weaknesses and give them ways that they can improve their weaknesses. So there's a learning plan that's built into the testing as
Who
well.
developed this test?
The test has been developed by a company in Canada called Essential Skills Group.
Essential Skills Group. Okay.
Yes. And
ESG.
Essential Skills Group has been operating in Canada for more than 15 years
Okay.
and working very closely with the Canadian governments and the provincial and federal.
And you're bringing this to ASEAN.
Yes, so I was hired as a consultant for the Canadian government because we're building a platform for e-learning and e-assessments in these
Okay.
skills. And so when I did the analysis, I identified ESG as the top company in Canada. And I convinced the owner, Michael Herzog, to bring, and he actually created SRT for the ASEAN market.
Okay. Can you repeat again, what's the purpose of, what do you aim to get from having this SRT?
So
determine
there's many purposes, but the primary purpose is to be able to evaluate people's skills.
And student skills, okay.
Well, it could be used by more than just students, but we're applying it in universities, mainly to make sure that students are prepared for Industry 4.0.
Okay.
So they need a variety of skills to close the gap between the needs of workers and the needs of industry.
Okay, but the test is in English.
English, yes.
And you said earlier that we have problems, for example, in Thailand, you know, in English reading comprehension. So how do you address this now?
Well, this is an issue that all ASEAN countries have to face because in the ASEAN environment, English is the official language. And so in a country like Thailand, where people have been very comfortable speaking only Thai, there's a recognized need from government, university officials, and students that it's important for them to develop their English skills.
Okay, so the test is in English. How does this compare with other, you know, English tests? For example, TOEIC. Test of English as a, anyway, and the IELTS, those are English tests to determine comprehension, to determine readiness of the students and workers to really engage in industry that's predominantly in English.
Yes, yes.
So what's the difference between SRT and the other English tests?
Well, basically all of these tests are built on the same work of the OECD in adult literacy. And many years ago, the OECD recognized a global need to develop the skills. Canada has adopted those things, and now we're trying to bring that into the ASEAN region. And so all of the skills that are being tested are the same. And so we can use SRT as a benchmark. The thing that distinguishes SRT is we actually separate the scores for each of the skills. So individuals can find out where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and we give a learning plan to help people build up their weaknesses.
So there's a learning plan.
That's right.
It determines what areas the student or the worker is very weak, and then you have a plan for that.
That's right. And so many times if people have a strength, some people are good at talking, other people are good at reading, but maybe not the other skill. So we usually play to our strengths, and we study those things, and we avoid our weaknesses. So with SRT, we can help people build their weakness up so that they have a very comprehensive English skill. It's not just being able to read something, but in Thailand, there's not a lot of exposure to native English speakers. So it's very important for Thai people to get confidence with their speaking and to be able to communicate. Their reading is quite good, but their speaking and listening is less developed because they don't have experience and exposure.
Do you adjust the instrument on the specific country or culture? For example, TOEIC is really, you know, for if you're exposed to something American or European, you can easily pass that. But do you have the same thing in SRT, or you adapt it according to the needs of the specific country you're working in?
Yeah, so a very exciting project that our MUTT is involved in, and we're asking for help from our partners, such as in the Philippines here, is to create a culturally sensitive test. Because if you're you know, being asked questions about getting a lift in the UK, what does that mean? Is it an elevator? Is it getting a ride in a car? So a lot of these cultural terms are confusing. And so what we want to do is work with, we're working in Thailand, and we want to work with the Philippines. We're working in Vietnam now to make sure that the references are things that people understand.
The term is customized according to the culture.
Yes. And so, you know, many students have not experienced going to an airport. yet. The English tests for TOEIC and
ask
IELTS
them
will
about
ask
the
about airport
What's an
experiences.
airport?
Yeah, exactly.
So you customize
Yes.
the test for according to the country you're implementing that.
Yes, so we're working on customization, and bigger than that, we're trying to we're developing a group of partners, so we can have an academic journal, we can have conferences, and we can share ideas because we're not competing with each other. We can help each other, and when somebody gets a good idea, then we can share that around to the different countries.
Okay, we'll talk more about SRT and some other things about academic collaboration within ASEAN when ASEAN in Focus Weekend Edition returns.
Welcome to the garden. A world that brings you back to that natural, carefree feeling of joy and happiness. A place where art becomes your song to strengthen bonds. Creating your moments, kindling your passion, worth reliving over and over. A world that recaptures the value of life. Breathe. This is your world, your life, your garden.
How will we keep the prices down?
Pero baka matulungan niyo ako dito. May kaibigan ako taga-Kapitolyo. Baka kilala niyo ho?
Letters and Music. Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 1:00 hanggang 2:00 ng hapon.
Okay, we're back with our last portion of interview with Dr. Bradley Corbett from the Rajamangala University of Technology, Thanyaburi, Thailand. Earlier, we're talking about the SRT or the skills. Sorry, what's SRT again?
Success readiness test.
Success
Yes.
readiness test. Okay. This is implemented already in. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is implemented
okay.
already in Thailand, and you said you started it in. No, this is implemented already in Canada, and you started it in Thailand. So, what's the stage now in Thailand? You're done with the pilot testing in Thailand.
Yes, so we completed a pilot test in several pilot tests at RMUTT in Thailand, and we had great success implementing the test and integrating it.
When you had great success, you were really able to determine the readiness of the students of those who took the test. Okay.
Yes, and we've learned a lot in terms of the development of the test. Many tests have a difficulty testing people at a lower level, so we've been able to adapt the test to accommodate people at very low levels, all the way up to very high levels.
And then you're doing it also in Vietnam. What's the stage in Vietnam now?
Yeah, so we're conducting a pilot study at the University of Transport Technology with 300 master's MBA students.
Okay,
Yes.
imagine they have a university devoted to transport and technology in Vietnam. I wish you can have that also in the Philippines. And then what's the stage now in the Philippines? You're just negotiating with the possible partners.
Right now, I'm visiting and touring around the Philippines, meeting people from different universities, and we've actually had a lot of interest from people here, and so now we're trying to solidify the relationships and to build a partnership.
And hopefully you can have one with New Era University.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I hope so.
costs.
Yes.
Because some students they take the TOEIC, students and faculty, and it requires cost. So what do you think? How much will the SRT test cost for a student?
Well, there are many different tests that involve different kinds of skills, but basically our company's philosophy is to make it affordable.
Okay.
So when you buy the test, you get multiple chances at studying. So,
Okay.
For example, when somebody takes a TOEIC or an IELTS test, they get one score. They don't get any feedback about what happened,
okay.
where their skills are. With the SRT, they can take the test multiple times. They can learn. They can spend a period of time learning, improving their skills. And they don't have to invest in the more expensive tests until they're ready to take it.
Okay.
So we don't want people failing the tests. We want people to be able to raise their skill level and to know approximately how much they would score on the other test.
Okay, so you've done SRT in Thailand, you're doing it in Vietnam, and soon in the Philippines.
Yes.
So how do you think SRT will fit in the bigger picture of the ASEAN? You're talking here of the 10 ASEAN member states.
Yes, absolutely, because it's very important. Within all of the ASEAN nations, there's all of these natural experiments going on. There's a lot of efforts to improve English, and essential skills training is not necessarily addressed by a lot of things. So making sure people are prepared for Industry 4.0. But it's very important for all of us to have a common platform by which to measure the success of programs. And then we're going to develop a conference and an academic journal where we can share those findings, and then those things can be adapted based on countries' preferences and the energy that people want to put into these programs and all these natural experiments that are happening around the region.
Okay, you've been to Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, and what country? What other country in ASEAN?
Yes, currently we're just operating with these three countries right now, and we've been, had some discussions and indications that other places are interested, but we haven't really begun serious communication with anybody.
Final question: you're a Canadian who's living now in ASEAN. So, what do you want ASEAN to become? Because one of our visions is to create a complete community, just one community within ASEAN.
Yes, and I think it's very possible. I mean, my background is in population health, in education, and the power of population is really something that people really don't understand. But with the population, if we can improve the economies here, Thailand is a great example. Many people a generation ago were riding little scooters and motorcycles. Now they're driving Ford pickup trucks. And
contributing to the traffic,
yeah, so as the economy grows and as there becomes more money available, then the community can be created and it'll be self-sustaining.
When you say community, the whole of
ASEAN, the whole ASEAN community.
And you're very positive about that.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
There's amazing talent here, amazing skills, and we just need to have the right collaboration, less competition, more collaboration.
Okay.
And I think the future is very bright here.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Corp.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
Thank you very much. That's all for ASEAN in Focus Weekend Edition. I'm Kaloy Tabunda, and I'm one with 25.
Now in its second season, ABC Digital Nest is exactly what it's named. A televised and online nest where its hosts and all viewers alike to connect with each other, no matter their location, interests, or aspirations, through experiences that bring them the world over. EBC Digital Nest has potential to be as broad as its viewership. Whether it's related to current events, product features, traveling adventures, foodie trips, cultures or lifestyles, life hacks, or so much more. EBC Digital Nest is for the explorers, the curious, the go-getters, the avid learners, and most of all, the dreamers. We aim to captivate with content that will move viewers to act on their goals or dreams by showing them that if they can think it, they can do it. Hosted by Nicole Tongol in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, along with correspondents reporting from all over the world, EBC Digital Nest will always provide a place where anyone can meet someone new, learn useful lessons, or even share their interest and support from the EBC Digital Nest family spread across many nations. Connect, learn, and share on EBC Digital Nest every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. and online at EBC Digital Nest on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Ano ang kahulugan ng success kay Miss Alma Concepcion?
Ang success sa akin is number one, peace of mind. Natutulog kang walang kaaway. Ako po si Alma Concepcion. Abangan niyo po ako ngayong Sabado sa RYTS, Rule Yourself to Success, dito lang sa Net 25.
50 years ago, 5 visionaries came together to sign the Bangkok Declaration, an agreement that would change the course of history. To ensure peace, prosperity, and harmony, the founding fathers of ASEAN laid the foundation for a community based on shared values. Who were they? Adam Malik, Foreign Minister of Indonesia. Tun Abdul Razak, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. Narciso Ramos, Foreign Affairs Secretary of the Philippines. S. Rajaratnam, Foreign Minister of Singapore. And Tanat Koman, Foreign Minister of Thailand.
My grandfather inspires me a lot on how we have to respect people and family. He's a family man. He always have us with him even during his busy time. And at that time, I was still young. And I'm very often around him also, even though he has to receive a couple of important people. And I like to eavesdrop. I like to listen to what he say, how he talks. And that's really inspires me. If my grandfather was still here, he would be very, very pleased on the progress of ASEAN, what it has accomplished and has achieved. His vision for ASEAN, it was for peace, for economic growth, for cultural development. This was his vision for ASEAN.
I think he wanted for us to work together. He was a great believer in developing, friendship, cooperation. He wanted to have a close relationship, personal relationship with all the leaders especially the 5 founding fathers of ASEAN. And by doing what he did, he planted the seeds of future ASEAN that today we stand to benefit from it. I could still recollect that he was very excited about it. You know, you could see that he knew that this was the genesis of something very, very exciting for the entire region.
Grandpa was a quiet man. He showed his example by doing, not by talking, by establishing relations with many countries, having good relations with the heads of state, heads of government of the countries he was assigned to, interacting very effectively with the cabinet, ensuring that we can have a very effective organization called ASEAN here in the heart of Southeast Asia, which now is part of the top 5 economies of the world. I think grandfather had the sense that one day ASEAN will become a great institution. I think what Mr. Ramos sees for the Philippines, he sees at a greater level for ASEAN, an independent gathering of 10 nations interacting economically and proving that Southeast Asians can be the best in the world as an independent economy. So I think he saw ASEAN in the future as a larger Philippines of people with shared heritage, shared bloodlines, working together to make Southeast Asia one of the most progressive areas in the whole of the world.
When ASEAN began, the 5 leaders of the country realized that they must come to know each other. They must develop friendship, mutual trust, and a willingness to understand each other's point of view and interest. And I saw for myself at the UN how, over time, the 5 ASEAN foreign ministers became really close friends and trusted one another. So the ASEAN journey succeeded partly because these remarkable people who hardly knew each other at the beginning became friends, became allies, and became partners devoted to that vision. If Mr. Rajaratnam were alive today, he would be so happy with the success of ASEAN.
Dr. Than's vision for ASEAN, he would like the members of ASEAN to unite together and in economy, social, and cultural. So Dr. Than, he was quite busy. I observe his movement, his thinking about ASEAN, that he would like the people in this region to be happy, to be safe, and to be strong. He would like to see the ASEAN getting stronger, and the people in this area be more, have a lot of freedom, independence, and have a good livelihood and work together closely.
With the accession of Brunei Darussalam in 1984, Vietnam in 1995, Laos PDR and Myanmar in 1997, and Cambodia in 1999, today, ASEAN is a community of 10 member states and home to 628 million people. ASEAN creates opportunities by helping businesses grow, by bringing people together, and by achieving a more connected ASEAN.